Hi guys, Jeremy Lindquist at True Fit Inman. Today I want to go over an active release mechanism for the one of the rectus femoris muscles. Right, so we really want to open up the quads, and we want to be able to improve the flow of the quad to allow better knee flexion. All right, we want to take away some of the compressive forces that happen in the deep knee flexion. So when you're squatting, lunging, or even in running, right, we want to make sure that we have good glide mechanics on femur on tibia joint and right underneath that kneecap. And then we also want to make sure we're not overwhelming the hip flexors. All right, so it's a very common problem to kind of have the anterior muscles of the thigh come overloaded just due to some of the postural stuff we have going on. All right, so we want to release those and pair that with some of the hamstring activation that we're doing. So for releasing the quads, we're going to use a lacrosse ball or even possibly a tennis ball. Legitimately any kind of firm round ball type structure you might have would work great. All right, so it could even be like a 5-inch foam core ball or something of that nature. All right, but what we want to do is we're going to lay on the ground, and so if you need a mat or something for a little comfort, that would be great. But we're going to locate this ball and start near the knee first. And what I want to do is work on kind of the lateral edge a little bit. All right, middle to lateral edge of the knee, so that it feels like you're going to turn the knee in a bit. All right, and we're going to place that ball on the ground. You're going to lay the thigh right on there. And what I want you to do is find a little bit of pressure where you may feel some high energy, high tension in the quad. And I want you to trap the ball right on that spot. We're going to try to freeze that spot. We're going to work on curling the heel towards your butt without letting that ball roll off. We're going to extend it. And this is what's going to create what's called a flossing technique. All right, so we're going to break through some of that fascia and some of the outer layers of that tissue, kind of those limiters, those things that prevent you from going further into knee flexion early. All right, and we're going to slowly start to improve their capacity to handle a little more stretch. And so after a couple of these little curls on that one spot, what I want you to do is move it up a little bit further up the thigh. All right, so always start from around the knee and work your way up, and maybe just work on a few spaces at first. Give yourself, a minute to 2 minutes per thigh here. All right, you don't have to work up the entire leg because there can be a lot of trigger point spots, a lot of active energy spots there. And so maybe just progress into higher range on the thigh there. But anywhere you can improve function at that quad with this release, you can improve the knee mechanics, and then ultimately that will help your movement and help your running. All right, so we want to make sure that we free up how that joint can perform by not letting the compensations of the quad overuse kind of take over and prevent us from actively being out and moving happily. So, all right, so after a few flosses, I can go ahead and move up. Now I'm more mid-thigh, right in the belly of it all. There's some crossover sites right here where I'm at, some layers of the quads that kind of overlay each other. And so sometimes I can feel very dense and very energetic, a lot of reflex there, right? And then what you want to also do is start back at the knee, kind of move on towards the midline inside of the thigh. So a little bit closer to the VMO muscle, right? And we're going to do the same principle. So there's a lot of tension, a lot of energy, so you can choose how much leg weight or pressure to put into it. But you want to take it slow. You want to work on trying to actually just calmly breathing, so we're not tensing up, all right? And as you kind of break that fascia layer open a little and get some blood flow in there, you will start to feel a lot lighter in that leg. So as soon as you stand up after doing a full course, right, you'll feel that leg feel lighter. It'll be a little bit more responsive, and it may even take away some of the creaks and the pain that you feel in the knee on a typical, start of a session. So it's a great way to kind of prime before a squat day or before a run, kind of get some blood flow in there and break open a little bit of the resistance that you may feel, what creates that kind of stiff knee. All right, thanks guys.